She spoke 9 languages, but nobody noticed. Until one Monday morning, everything changed. The lobby of Hallberg International buzzed with noise that morning. Sneakers squeaked across polished tile, coffee lids hissed as they popped open, and half-finished conversations filled the air like static. Deadlines and caffeine shared the same importance, and everyone walked like they had somewhere better to be. No one noticed the janitor. She was there, though, like always, mopping the far side of the lobby. Burgundy uniform pressed, shoes spotless. Denise Atwater. Most didn't know her name. She wasn't trying to be invisible, but in a place like this, you don't have to hide to be unseen. Then something happened. Jonathan Kellerman, CEO of Hallberg International, had almost reached the elevators when a voice caught his ear. Not the words, but the rhythm. Fluid, crisp, commanding, Mandarin. He froze mid-step. This wasn't the voice of a tourist stumbling through phrases. It was native, confident, clear. He turned to look. It was her, the janitor. She was standing at the touchscreen directory, speaking with an older man in a navy jacket, completely at ease, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. Her voice was warm but assertive, her hands gesturing with clarity as she guided him to the elevators. Kellerman squinted. He recognized her vaguely from late nights and boardroom leftovers, polite, silent, unnoticed. Not once had he thought about where she was from, what she knew, or what brought her here. But now, he couldn't stop thinking about it. As the conversation wrapped, the man smiled in relief. She smiled back, just a little, and turned toward another person now approaching with a clipboard. Sí, por favor, déjalo allá. Spanish, another pivot. Then a vendor walked by with a stack of boxes. C'est pour la salle B, she said in French, gesturing calmly. 3 languages in under a minute. Kellerman stood there, stunned. He'd worked around the world, Shanghai, Geneva, São Paulo. He'd hired teams of interpreters, funded translation software, spent thousands on cultural consultants. Yet here, under his nose, mopping his floors, was someone more fluent than most of his executive staff. It wasn't the languages alone. It was how effortlessly she navigated between people, building trust before they even realized it. "Excuse me?" he said, stepping toward her. She turned, eyebrows raised just slightly. "Yes, sir?" That was Mandarin, wasn't it? "Yes, sir." "And Spanish? French?" She nodded. "Also Portuguese, Arabic, Italian, German. A bit of Swahili. I read Latin too, but I don't really count that one." He blinked. "You speak 9 languages?" "Yes, sir." No boasting. No pride. Just a simple, unshakable truth. "What's your name?" "Denise Atwater." "Miss Atwater, would you mind joining me in my office for a few minutes?" Her eyes hesitated, wary. Not fearful, just guarded, the way someone becomes after a lifetime of being overlooked. She nodded. "All right." They rode the elevator in silence, the air between them charged with something neither had words for yet. As the numbers ticked upward, she broke the silence. "I've worked here 13 years, she said quietly. "Never been invited upstairs." He glanced at her and gave a faint smile. "You might be surprised how fast things can change." But he had no idea just how much was about to change. His office on the 18th floor smelled like leather and lemon oil. A map covered one wall, speckled with colored pins, espresso cups, framed degrees, polished success. Denise sat carefully across from him. She wasn't intimidated. She was observant. He leaned in. "I want to be honest with you. I didn't expect this conversation today. But I just heard you switch between 3 languages like you were flipping light switches. And I need to know, how does someone like you end up working here?" Her expression didn't shift. "You want the real answer?" "I wouldn't have asked otherwise." She took a breath, steady and slow. "I was born in Toledo. Only child. My dad was a pipe fitter. Mom a nurse's aide. We didn't have much, but they believed in education like it was a lifeline. I got a scholarship to Kent State. Linguistics. Was halfway through my master's when my mom got sick. I came home to take care of her. Then Dad passed away 6 months later." She paused. Not for effect. Just to breathe through the memory. I had a baby. No money. No partner. Worked whatever I could. Grocery stores, nursing homes, temp jobs. Eventually, a supervisor here offered me night shifts. It paid just enough. That's how I got here. Kellerman stayed silent. Just listened. But I never stopped learning, she added. Borrowed textbooks, read newspapers in 5 languages, watched films, copied pronunciation. It's the only thing that still makes me feel like I matter. He let the words sink in. She continued. Most people don't ask. They see the uniform. They assume. That word echoed. Assume. He asked her to help translate an upcoming meeting. Portuguese for the team from São Paulo. She said yes. In the room, she transformed it. The awkward energy melted. Her voice filled the space, connecting people who couldn't connect on their own. Jokes were exchanged. Smiles grew. One executive turned to Kellerman and said, "She's better than anyone we've worked with this year." Kellerman smiled. Found her right here. Later, he offered her a position. A new role. Cultural liaison. International affairs. "I don't have a degree," she said. "You have lived experience, discipline, grace under pressure. That's worth more." She didn't say yes immediately. "Why me?" she finally asked. "Because I saw you solve 3 problems in 3 languages before 9 a.m. yesterday," he said. "And because I'm tired of walking past people like you. People doing twice the work for half the credit." Not everyone applauded. By Wednesday, gossip churned through the building. Some said she must be an undercover agent. Others rolled their eyes, called it a PR move. One marketing assistant scoffed, "I've got a master's. She cleaned the urinals last week." But Denise didn't flinch. She showed up early, took meetings in Moroccan Arabic, solved issues that had stalled for months. She corrected mistranslations that had cost the company real money. And she did it all quietly. No showboating, just excellence. Then came the meeting with Eleanor Craig, senior board member. No nonsense. "You have no corporate experience," Eleanor said coldly. "No certifications, no degree. Help me understand how you're qualified." Denise looked her in the eye. "Because I've already cleared 2 vendor delays. I secured a verbal deal with Brazil. I speak the languages. I understand the cultures. I get results." Eleanor raised a brow. "You think charm is enough?" Denise didn't blink. "I think the results are." After that meeting, Denise didn't go back to her office right away. She stepped outside, sat on a bench, looked up at the building that had once been just a place to clock in and out. Now she was shaping it. She called her daughter. "Just needed to hear your voice. You sure you're okay?" "Yeah, I am." By month's end, a plaque appeared outside the company training room. The Atwater room. No party, no announcement, just quiet recognition. That week, Denise spoke at a logistics summit. "I was never just a janitor," she told the crowd. "I was fluent. I was capable. I was ready." But no one looked long enough to see it. A young man approached afterward. "My mom's a housekeeper. She speaks 5 languages. I used to be embarrassed." Denise touched his arm. "Don't ever be ashamed of where you come from. The only shame is ignoring brilliance." By then, she was helping build an internal training initiative, Voice Inside, to mentor hidden talent across departments. Language lessons, leadership guidance, visibility, because she knew brilliance doesn't wear a uniform. It doesn't sit behind a corner desk. It walks among us, silent, unseen, until someone finally looks. And when they do, brilliance doesn't just take a seat at the table. It builds a bigger one.